It's your boy Scarface, and I want to welcome you guys back to another episode. Every week, you guys always tune in and support your boy, so I really do appreciate it. So wherever you're listening to, can you please give us a thumbs up, 5-star rating? I would really appreciate it. It helps the podcast go a long way. So again, every week, you guys always are supporting. I love it. I love doing this content for you guys. You guys absolutely love it, and the feedback that I get from you guys is amazing. So one of the most popular things that I've been talking about lately is people who are vanilla. So if your partner is vanilla, this podcast is going to be perfect for you. But before we get into that, we're going to be playing How Deep Will You Go? I want to start off the podcast by answering some of these questions, getting loosened up a little bit. So don't worry, we're going to get into how to get your guy to be a little less vanilla, right? So the first one we're going to get into is level 1. It says icebreakers on it. What's a small insecurity of yours? A small insecurity of mine has always been, like, even though people say I have a great smile and stuff like that, and thank you guys, I really do appreciate it. There's some things about my teeth that I don't like, and I've always wanted to get veneers, especially on I'm the left side of my teeth, right? I've always been insecure about that, even though, when like nobody really notices it, but you can notice it. So that's something I definitely want to get fixed. And I tell people too, like there's nothing wrong with getting plastic surgery, nothing wrong with cosmetic surgery. If it is gonna make you feel more confident and sexy, then go for it. By all means, do it. You know. And like I said, I've always had that. And then like just like a little things about my teeth that I don't like that I want to get fixed, right? So I would say that's a small insecurity. And see, like I like doing these because it's the first thing that pops into my head. Boom, boom, boom. Because that's always what's on your especially with this. That's what's bugging you the most, or that's what that's what you're feeling the most at the time. So to me, it's a little bit like I said, my smile and stuff like that. There's some things that I don't like. Hopefully, like every time I answer some of these, you guys start thinking of something of yours that a small insecurity, and how can we get past this? How can we fix this, right? If it's working out, then obviously start working out. I worked out a little bit earlier, feel great, did legs amazing, like I feel amazing today. So all right, so we're gonna get into the second one. Level 2 is confessions. What is a recent realization that you've had? A recent realization that I've had is I would say people tend to come and go, right? Like some people are only here for a season, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. There's some people shouldn't be here forever. People come and go all the time. Depending on the season of life, right? Like maybe you're doing something and certain people come into your life, or maybe they're the wrong people for you in your life. It could be that too. So don't ever be scared to like if they're not the right people, move on from them, right? So that's something I've realized a lot is people will come and go, and you can't get hurt by it. Too many people get hurt by it when people come and go, and that happens. Some people come into your life at a certain point in time, and then they, maybe they go past, move on, you move on, whatever the case may be. And I think the biggest thing is not feeling like it was your fault or like whatever happened, right? People come and go, and it happens. That's life. Nobody is for the most part, nobody's gonna be in your life forever, right? Unless you're like married, kids, and stuff like that. But I'm talking about like maybe friends, certain relationships, and things like that. People come and go, and that's okay, right? So the third one is, what are you afraid of passing down to your kids? What am I afraid of passing down? Well, first of all, I don't have any kids, so that one really doesn't really do anything for me because I don't have any kids. So what is one thing you would change about society? One thing that I would change about society is I think it would be just politics. Like, because there's no winning with that. Like, you see so much shit going on. You can't say anything because you're gonna offend one side. And if you say something, you're gonna offend somebody, regardless. Like, you cannot not say, like, you can't say anything. Like, whatever you say is gonna offend somebody. And that's not what debating, argumenting should be. Like, if you have a healthy debate with somebody, it should just be like, hey, like, this is my stance and this is why I think that. Okay, I respect your stance, but this is why I disagree with you. nobody can have that type of conversation. Like, let's be fucking honest. There's a lot of like F you, like this, like all sorts of stuff. There, whichever side you choose, there's no side that you're just gonna be, and it causes a lot of divide. It causes a lot of tension in between people. That's why I don't like to talk about politics. That's why I don't like to talk about religion, because there's so much divide in it. I want people to come to this platform and be entertained, have fun, talk about spicy stuff, relationships, kinks, exes, all that stuff. Okay, we're not here to talk about what side of the freaking political spectrum you sit on, because again, that's something I wish I could just get rid of, because it causes so much divide into people. Like, for example, like say you're talking to somebody or you have these friends, you believe one thing and then they believe another thing, and now it just causes frictions. And now these close friends are no longer close friends because you guys sit on different sides, right? Some people can coexist with other people, but for the most part, no. People will share stuff, get offended by stuff, disrespect other people. You know, we live in an age where we can't have those healthy conversations, because when you're behind a phone, when you're behind a keyboard, people talk all reckless, and you can talk like, because if you were in person with some other people, I guarantee you're gonna have a lot healthier conversation, lot healthier debate. You know, um, and so that's something I wish I could get rid of, just because it causes so much divide within people all over the place. Again, like no matter what side you choose, no matter uh, what whatever side you think. Like for example, some of the recent stuff that's been going on was the whole like Ukraine came to like the White House, the Oval Office. Some people are saying that the president and vice president completely disrespected the president of Ukraine. And then there's some people that said that, hey, like thanks for standing up for United States, you know. And then, but then at the same time, there's people saying like stop funding Ukraine because that money's just being money laundered. And then there's some people, you know, who are saying like, how come we're not helping, right? And this is what I mean. It causes such a divided, and there's no right answer. You know what I mean? Like there's no right answer. You're doomed if you do, you're doomed if you don't, right? And that's why like that's something I wish I could get rid of, just because it causes so much. I've seen some people on one side, like say you're on Trump's side, right? They say something and then people on the other side are saying like you're dumb, like this, like all this strictly disrespectful stuff. And same on the other side, like say you were pro Kamala Harris, there's people on the Trump side saying some disrespectful people or stuff to the people who were like voting for them. Right. And then I'm just like, fuck, like you guys can't have healthy conversations, debates. Like what does this person bring to the table? What does this person bring to the table? You know, and there's some people who can have these healthy conversations, but for the most part, it's a whole lot of disrespectful going on, like disrespect on both sides, you know? And you can't really, there's no right. And like if you choose a side, guess what? All this other side is like doesn't like you, you know? And again, that's why I keep politics out of this. I'm not here to talk about that, have those type of arguments. I'm here to have the type of arguments of like, why are you going back to your fucking ex after he fucking cheated on you 3 times already? So, but something I really wanted to talk about on this podcast episode, because I've seen it a lot on my TikToks, the IGs and stuff like that. And if you're from there, what's up? Welcome to the podcast. Is I wanted to give you guys 10 ways to hopefully spice up your guys' relationships, right? And before I get into the 10 ways, something that could go a long way in the beginning is, why are you letting them get away with this in the beginning, right? When you first hook up and when you're first hooking up in the beginning, because here, let me give you some context. This girl, she sent a message saying like, how can I get my boyfriend or a husband? I can't remember, one of the two, of 5 years. That's what I did remember, the 5 years, to become more spicy. Like someone who's vanilla, more spicy. This is something you should have noticed in the beginning. And this is why you need to communicate it in the beginning. Because when a guy is trying to court you, trying to get you, they're going to do a lot of things to try to impress you. You know, if they're too vanilla, guess what? They're going to learn some things. I'll tell you that right now. They're going to learn some things. But you guys need to communicate this in the beginning and not just assume they're going to get better. Because if they fucking sucked, or they're super bland and boring in the beginning, guess what? They're gonna be bland and boring in the relationship unless you help improve, like you guys communicate, right? So I want you to notice if you're talking to somebody new, maybe you guys are being intimate and you feel like he's a little too vanilla. Now is the time to help mold this guy. Hey, let's try this. Let's do this. I would love it if you do this. I would love it if you do that. Because if they hear I would love it if you did this, I'd be like, hell yeah, girl. I can do that for you. I can do that for you. Even though maybe it's something I've never done. Because I remember, again, I gave the whole like spitting on a girl, for example. I never did it before until a girl asked me to do it. And the first time it's so embarrassing. The first time I spit on a girl, like in her mouth, was like, it didn't even make it in her mouth because I was just like so weirded about it because I'd never done it. So like I tried to spit, but it just like fell over and like got onto my beard. Like, you know what I mean? Like it didn't even go anywhere. I was just super embarrassed about that. I was like, yeah, sorry about that. But this, like I said, needs to be communicated in the beginning. But I'm going to give you 10 ways to help spice things up with your partner if they are boring. Again, you need to start now. Stop waiting. So the first one that I have is communicate openly. Tell them that you want something, or tell them what you want. Something that doesn't even realize. I mean, they may not even know that they're boring because again, it comes down to maybe you're fake moaning, maybe you're fake orgasming, maybe you're giving the impression that you're having an amazing time when you're probably not, right? Let them know, like, hey, let's do this. Like, I would like it if you do this a little bit more. I love this. I've always wanted somebody to do this to me. Just start talking, communicate with your person because, and especially early on, don't wait. A lot of people wait. I don't know why they wait so long when they're like, damn, like now the guy's going to be like, we've done, like, where did this come from? Like, we've been doing it like this for like 4 years and now it's a problem. Now you want to switch it up. Like, what the fuck? Like, what's going on here? They may think a weird thing about it. So definitely communicate as early on as possible. Or even if you guys been in 5 years in and be like, hey, like, I really feel like we're getting comfortable. And it's not super, I want to excite it. I want to make it more exciting for the both of us. Let's try new things. Can you do like some of this stuff next time we hook up? Something along those lines. Don't just be like, hey, you're boring. Fuck me up. Because if he's boring, that means you're boring because you let boring happen. So technically, you guys are both boring. um, so don't act like you're a saint over here and you're just waiting to get fucked up. Like if you accepted boring, then guess what? Guess what, buddy? You both are boring. So definitely communicate. This is something that you need to talk with your partner and hopefully get past this. Uh, the second one that I have is try new experiences together. Step out of your normal routine, spontaneous trips, new restaurants, and adventurous activities. Try new things. Like maybe you need to go to a new place to try something new, right? Maybe you guys haven't been over here, but you're like, hey, let's go over here, just me and you. If you have kids, like make it work. You guys know what I'm talking about. Make it work. And then, because maybe going somewhere new is gonna encourage you to try something different. Be like, hey, since we're here, kind of want to do this. We should do this. Because keep things interesting, right? Because I've always wanted to do like travel to different places and use like the balcony or something like that, as a view as you're hitting it from the back, right? Something like that. I think that would be cool. Maybe that's something you guys try. Um, but again, maybe new things that you guys do, something spontaneous. I love spontaneous. I love being spontaneous. Like out of nowhere, just be like, hey, let's do this. I'm like, fuck yeah, let's do. Like those have been some of the best trips I've taken. Is just like last minute shit. Hey, let's do this. Fuck. All right, let's do it. Fuck it. What's the worst that can happen? Sometimes I've gone on a trip like literally 2 days before, not even knowing like 2 days before. They're just like, hey, you want to do this? All right, fuck it. Let's make it happen. And those have been some of the best trips. The ones that are like thought out and planned out and whatnot. They can be fun and stuff like that. But I don't know. For some reason, I feel like the spontaneous ones are a little bit more exciting. So definitely maybe try that. Switch up the next one that I have is switch up the routine in the bedroom. Explore fantasies, try new positions, or introduce something playful to break the boringness. You know what I mean? So, I mean, maybe take a trip with you and your man to like one of these stores, where they sell a bunch of toys. I mean, it's funny because I try to filter myself because TikTok doesn't let me say certain things, but going to like one of these sex stores where they sell different uh, toys that you can use, lingerie, edible foods, and stuff like that. Maybe going there and trying new things, be like, hey, like maybe we should try something like this, and don't feel like you're being judged. They're obviously there working at a sex shop, so they know freaky people are going in there. It's funny because some people are like, oh, they're gonna think I'm a freak. Girl, no, they know this is where freaks want to come to have fun and get some new stuff. So definitely give it a try. Uh, there's like different books you can get, and it has like different positions. Maybe you get a book like one of the Kama Sutra books and be like, hey, like every week let's try a new position, right? And we'll try to master that position. Who knows, like you may love that position. um Including like I said, toys and stuff. It could be something, start off something small. You don't want to do nothing crazy, you don't want to scare each other, but slowly, hey, like we should do this. Or I've always wanted to be tied up. Let's buy this. Slightly motivate, slightly encourage, and let him know it's okay. But if he's still a little uncomfortable going to the store, shop online. Shop online. You can find this stuff online too. Okay, because there's some guys who feel like too macho to walk in. Like, fellas, if you're listening to this, stop feeling fucking macho. Like, there's a guy out there that's probably wants to go inside the store with a girl, you know, and it could be him. And I've never walked into one of these stores and be like, damn, people are gonna be judging me in here. I'm gonna be like, yeah, oh, yo, y'all some freaks, and I love it. So definitely, like, if they're too afraid to go into the store, buy something online. That works too, you know. But tell them, hey, like, I want to try this. Is there anything that you've wanted to try? And just be like, I'm not here to judge. I'm here, like, I love you. You're my partner, X, Y, and Z. Let's do something different. I want to try different stuff. Cause so the next one that I have is flirt like you just met. Bring back the playful teasing, eye contact, and suggestive text to reignite the spark. And then this is totally gonna depend on how long you've gone without doing it. Something that should never die in a relationship is flirting with your partner. Like, you guys should always be flirting at all times. It doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter if you guys are 10 years in, 20 years in. I still catch my parents flirting sometimes, fucking weird, but they still flirt, they still tease each other, they still play around with each other. So, um, it's something that, like, hope, don't let it die down. Meaning, like, if the reason some things die down, and I'll give you just because of my experience, like, you, the guy gets comfortable. I'm speaking from a guy's side. I got comfortable to the point where like pulled back doing something, and I noticed that she didn't say anything. So I'm like, oh, well, maybe she doesn't need it all the time, right? And then all of a sudden you pull something else back because it takes effort to do a lot of these things. Um, like when you're trying to court somebody, you're trying to get somebody, it takes a lot of effort. But then once you got them, guess what? You're just like, all right, I can dial it back a little bit. I can dial it back. No, if you see some subtle changes, be like, hey, how come you don't flirt with me anymore? Like, what's up? Like, do you not like me? Call them out. And they'll be like, oh shit, my bad. Like, and now in his head, he's like, okay, I can't slack on flirting with her because she noticed it. She doesn't appreciate that. I like her. I love her. I want to be with her. I'm gonna make sure I'm always flirting with her. You know, and especially very early on. Don't bring it up like it's been 2-3 years since your person has flirted with you, because then I'm gonna be, what the fuck? Like, so you haven't needed it for this long, and now you want it. Like, what the fuck is going on with you? You know. But even just tell them. Be like, hey, like, I need some flirting from you. I need something from you that shows me that you're interested in me. So, definitely flirting is huge. Don't let it die down. Okay. Again, I'm gonna say it again. Don't let flirting die down. The next one that I have is plan surprise date nights. Take the lead and organize something unexpected, mystery dates, theme nights, or role playing. And yes, like, date nights is a must. Like, this is something that should be included in your relationship weekly. You should have a date night. Doesn't necessarily mean you guys have to go out to eat every time or out and spend money, because everybody's financial situation is different. Even if it's just like this day, we're gonna go for a walk, we're gonna talk, maybe get some ice cream, like things like that, protein shake, whatever you're into. And we're gonna walk and talk and just hang out, just me and you, just uh, flirt and things like that. You need to make sure that's included in your guys' relationship so that doesn't die down. But also do surprise things too. I think that would help, or especially early on. Maybe your man is at work, he comes home, and then guess what? You already have this whole vibe going on. Like maybe you got some lingerie and stuff like that, whole vibe going on. Be like, oh shit, like this is cool. But if it's difficult to do that, sometimes it doesn't work. The reason I say it's difficult to do that and sometimes it doesn't work is because if you haven't done this stuff in the, it's already super vanilla, died down, and then you do it at a one day, the guy's gonna be, what the fuck is going on here? You're gonna get that reaction instead of being like, oh yeah, like here we go again, like we got this going on. And the guy's supposed to do the same stuff too. Like tell them, don't be afraid to tell them what you need from them. So many people don't want to say anything because they don't want to scare this person. They don't want to run them off. No, run that person off. Because if they can't give you what you need, then guess what, buddy? We're going to find the person that's going to be able to do that for us. And same with me. Like, if a girl can't do something that I need from her, meaning like, in the bedroom or something like that, I'm going to find somebody who can because I'm not going to deal with anything less. I would rather be single than deal with somebody who, can't fulfill that for me. So definitely dates, make sure don't let those die down either. Okay. So the next one I have is touch more often. Physical touch, hugs, kisses, holding hands outside the bedroom builds anticipation and connection. And we all know that's true. Sometimes holding hand leads to like touching them a little bit more, slapping their butt, grabbing their butt, playing with them a little bit. I don't mean like down there. I'm just saying like, touching them and flirting with them. It's so crazy. Like when people get more and more into a relationship, they start touching each other less and less and less, which shouldn't happen. There's some people I didn't even know were together because they don't even stand close together. Like, what is going on here? Like, you guys let your guys get so far apart that it seems like you guys aren't even together, right? Don't be afraid of PDA. Hold their hand, kiss them. Just don't be like freaking getting ready to bang in the public. Okay, that's a little bit different. Don't be afraid to kiss your person, hold their hand, slap their butt, like whatever. You guys are grown adults. As long as you're not doing like anything more than that, right? Like grabbing their boobs, fondling them, like stuff like that in front of kids. Okay, like there's a you can take this a little too far, right? But you guys should definitely be touching. It's so crazy that I see people who don't touch themselves. Right? That came out wrong. Don't touch each other. You know what I mean? Like they don't hold hands. They don't randomly flirt, pinch them, like the booty, slap the booty a little bit, kiss them. It everything feels like so forced with them, right? Again, this goes back to saying like if you notice a lack of that, let them know as soon as it happens. Correct that ASAP. You know, it's like the what's her name, Caesar Milan when he was like correcting dogs. The moment something bad happened, correct, because that's how they're gonna learn. Correcting it as soon as it happens, not waiting and letting them build up this bad behavior. No, correct it right away, right? So just make sure you guys are touching each other, right? And I don't want to see that. And if you feel some people might be too far gone, see, and that's why I like doing these because some people might be a little too far gone where you tried this and it just didn't work. Like if you've been trying some of this stuff and it doesn't work, I think it's more of a you might need to make a tough decision here soon, you know? All right, so the next one that I have is work on yourself. Confidence and sexy. When you grow and improve, your partner might feel inspired to step up too. Absolutely. And there's nothing wrong with, we all go through seasons. You know, I'll give you mine for example. Like, I remember I was super lean, got with my ex, not this recent one, it was a while back. And then obviously you gain on that relationship weight because you guys are going out to eat, you're not working out as much, right? But then after I broke up, super lean again, right? But then I that's when I got really heavy into working out, and I became like the leanest I ever was, like the buffest I ever was. Like I saw a picture from it. And then like obviously things happen and you just go through seasons, right? Right now I'm in the season where I'm getting my diet right, getting everything else right. Like I'm been working out, I'm feeling great, feeling amazing, cutting some weight. Like I'm telling you, the summer's gonna be crazy. um, but if I was with somebody, I would hope that that would motivate them too, to continue to work out. I'll give this example just because I've seen it. My little sister, she's been working out a lot and she's cut a lot of weight. She looks amazing, right? And now I saw my brother-in-law also hitting the gym a little bit too. You know what I mean? Because uh, hopefully that motivated him to be like, you know what? Maybe we should be. I'm not saying like go straight bodybuilding mode. Like you need to be ripped as fuck. Just healthy. Because they have to remember they have a son, Milo, my little nephew. So you want to be here for the long haul, or do you want something bad to happen to you? Okay. You have to think of his future too. Like you can't be making bad decisions, and then because they're only going to see your bad decisions and will copy your bad decisions. So definitely work on yourself because it does build that confidence. It does build that, because girls love it too. I'm sure like you love seeing your man confident. You're probably like that's super sexy. Confidence looks sexy off people, even girls. That's why I always say like my girl, whoever it is, has to be confident and sexy because if I'm confident and sexy, I want my partner to replicate that because they're an extension of you. I don't want them to be all secluded, closed, like, yeah, no, don't look at me. No, I want her to be like, yo, what's up? You know, like confident and sexy. So definitely, if working out is that, if whatever is gonna make you feel like that, let's make it happen. Okay. The next one that I have is introduce some competition, a little friendly rivalry. Games, bets, or challenges can bring out the more exciting of each of them. Absolutely. There's games, like obviously I played this little game in the beginning of the podcast, but there's also couple games, there's intimate games, like there's all sorts of games you can play that are going to help you not only learn each other, but maybe try something different. You know, there's like on your date night, that's what I'm saying. Excuse me, on your date night, instead of going out like, hey, like we're gonna play this game, we're gonna get some food, get some drinks, we're gonna play this game, see what happens. So introduce different stuff like that. Like it's fun to keep things competitive. I'm a very competitive person. Don't tell me you're gonna beat me in something because I'm gonna be like, all right, bet, let's make it happen. Because definitely not fucking losing. I'll tell you that right now. So definitely add some games. There's games you can add for couples that are just like lower spiciness, but there's some that it's actual intimate ones. That's why it's good to go to these like sex shops and see the different stuff that they have because they have them there. They have like actual, hey, like this one's gonna make you try different like intimate stuff. So if you're comfortable with your person, then guess what? Get this one. Let's elevate a little bit. Let's introduce new things to it. So don't be afraid of games. I think that's a lighter way to start instead of just imagine like buying like a whip or something and telling your man, be like, yo, I need you to hit me with this. He's going to be like, what in the fuck are we doing? But if you slowly start including things, then I feel like somebody who's not very comfortable might get a little bit more comfortable, right? So the next one that I have is talk about your fantasy. Sometimes people don't open up because they're afraid of the judgment. Create a safe space. I mean, it's really hard to create a safe space, but yes, talk about things that you want to happen. I always communicate and be like, hey, like, what's something that you love to do? What's something that you haven't done that you would love to do? And then see if that's something that you're comfortable enough to do for the person, right? You know, and it's because people are afraid to have these conversations, and especially guys. Guys are afraid to open up and tell them what they really like because maybe to them in their head they probably think, oh, it's way left field. The example I give all the time, I don't know if you guys seen the show Dave, with Lil Dicky. He was like super into like this weird table where the girl was at the bottom and she would just like suck him off from the bottom, like crazy, and he never wanted to tell her because he thought he was just super. it was super weird and awkward, right? But that was something that he fantasized about. And that's okay. Talk to your partner about that, because this is where you're going to find out maybe this partner is not for you, because there's people out there that will do what you want to do. You just haven't found them, or you just haven't let them know that you're into that. That's why in the beginning, again, if they're super vanilla or they don't match the type of energy that you're giving, is going to be a bigger problem later on. Now and then you're going to try to fix that later on. You're going to be like, well, what the fuck? Like, how come he hasn't changed? Because you accepted it in the beginning. So definitely talk about fantasies, different things that you would want to try. They're not going to tell you right away either. So maybe bring it up several times. Be like, oh, is there something I really would love to like try something that you haven't done? Maybe look up some stuff. If you see something that you want to do, I'm more than open to try something with you. Because again, if you tell them something, hey, what's one of your fantasies? I guarantee you, most guys, 9 times out of 10, they're gonna be like, "Oh, well, I already like I don't really have any," because now they're on the spot, and to come to think of something they want to do, maybe they don't know. But if you're like, "Hey, like I want to fulfill something that you've wanted to do," look up some stuff, tell me, let's see if we can make it happen. I don't care if you think it's super crazy or whatever it is. I'm like, I want to level up our spiciness. Let's try some of the things. I would love for whoever I'm with be like, hey, I've always wanted to do this. You think we could try it? I'd be like, fuck yeah. You know, Nothing's too left field except if you're trying to insert anything into me, automatic no. But I'll be like, hey, like I know that's something you really enjoy, but that's really a no for me. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. Like if the girl really wants to stick something in you, I'm gonna be like, maybe I'm not the guy for you because that ain't happening. So definitely communicate just slowly communicate these things, and always remember, especially a guy, they're not going to tell you their fantasy like that. It might take a little bit of time. Just let them know. I- When you come with a fantasy, be like, hey, I've always wanted to try this. Like I really want to do something that you want to do though. So look up some stuff, research, hopefully here in a few days, we can try whatever you want to do. And now they're thinking about it, right? Instead of on the spot, hey, let's do this. Because maybe later on they'll send you a video or a link. Hey, be like, hey, I want to try this. Slowly like creating that space. But if you be like, hey, what's one of your fantasies that we should do? They're probably, oh, I really don't have any. Because you put them on the spot out of nowhere. And some guys don't like to get put on the spot. Even if you told me like, what's one of your fantasies? I'd be like, I don't really know. Like I haven't really been walking around, been like, this is my fantasy. If someone asked me, this is what I'm gonna say, But if I was told, hey, like I really want to do something you want to do, come back with me, or come back with it for me. Look up some stuff, research, do whatever. Like I want to try something new that you haven't done. So like look something up, and let them know, hey, nothing is too left field for us. Let's try it. And the last one that I have and direct is give them the wake up call. If anything changes, be direct and let them know intimacy is important to you and something has to shift or things are going to happen. Meaning like, hey, like we need to change this shit or we need to go our separate ways. And don't be afraid of that, because if you're craving that intimacy, people are going to step out of the relationship because they're not getting it at home. And that happens time and time after, like again and again and again and again, because they lack that at home. And so they really crave it, even though they may love their person, they love being with them, but they lack in that department. So now they're out looking for it somewhere else. So that's why you need to have that conversation with them and use other people, for example. I say that all the time. Use other people as examples. If you see, my names I always make up, Tim and Jessica, be like, hey, you saw what happened between Tim and Jessica. Like they ended up cheating on each other, or Tim cheated on her. They ended up getting divorced or separated. Like use them as example, and say we're heading in that direction if we don't fix something, because our intimacy is boring. It's like I crave all this stuff from you, but I don't get it. I don't know if you're craving certain things. I just don't know because you don't tell me. Like tell them straight and direct, and let them know the ultimatum. Be like, we either need to fix this or we need to think about what's the next step, because I'm done dealing with this vanilla bullshit. So Because again, we're here for a short amount of time, and for that time, even shorter amount of time, where we can be intimate. It's like not, you don't come out the womb banging. Like usually it doesn't happen depending on the person until you're like anywhere from like, I mean, I'm just saying, I've seen 15-year-old. I was in high school. Okay. Come on. I know. Like from 15, maybe some people stop at 50, right? Or 55, even though you can keep going, but it just depends on the person. So you see how like you just like narrowed it down even more. And then what about the times that you like not with somebody, so you like narrow it down even more? Uh, so it sucks when I hear like some people haven't been intimate 10. The most I've heard was 25 years. Like that's crazy. 25 years and not being intimate. I guarantee you that person is just questioning like why did I even put myself through? Especially if they finally leave and get with somebody else, they're gonna be like, I can't believe I gave this person all these years and he didn't destroy this cat. So don't wait, because guys do get comfortable, and I'm sure girls get comfortable too, depending on the girl. But don't let things like slide. As soon as you see something like off or something happening like that, bring it up. Talk to them. Don't let things slide, because if you let something slide, then guess what? They're gonna be like, oh, okay, like they don't really need this, so I'm gonna do maybe a little less of this, or a little less of this, a little less of this, and that's not how things should be. Like as soon as like the whole Cesar Milan thing, as soon as something happens, correct, boom, hey, why'd you stop this? Why didn't you do this? How come you don't flirt? No, be that person, because that's how you're gonna make sure you let this person know, hey, this is what I need from you. And if you start slacking in it, I'm gonna notice it, and we're gonna have a problem with it. Don't be afraid of that, because then you spend a few years with this person, and then guess what? Now you're just like, fuck, I wasted all this time trying to like waiting for this person to change. And now they're like, oh, I'll change, because they don't want to separate, So you definitely gotta bring things up. That's the biggest thing. Like, and shout out to the people who sent me messages. They're like, hey, uh, you've been really. I shared one to IG. That's what I was actually looking up right now. Let me see. And I love it when people send me stuff like this. Look, I'm trying to find it. Hello, handsome. So listening to your podcast and watching all your videos and lives, my marriage has dramatically improved. Thank you. My husband started listening to you as well. I've been more upfront with my wants and needs from him sexually. 20 years together. So thanks for the advice and making my sex life fun again. Very much appreciated. And what happened here? She started bringing up what she needed from him. Because sometimes maybe the guy doesn't know that this is what's bugging her, or this is what she needs. And he's be like, damn, I'm fucking up, Or he's just going to be like, well, I really don't want to do it with you anymore like that. Or like, I don't feel the same anymore. That's your sign. Okay, maybe this relationship isn't working anymore. So definitely find this stuff out sooner rather than later. That way you don't waste a bunch of time with this person. Because I think that would be the worst, is, wasting a bunch of time with this person for you, to eventually just end up leaving them anyways. Okay. So, but I want to thank you guys again for listening to the podcast. I really do appreciate it. You guys are awesome, tuning in every week. Give us a thumbs up, a 5-star rating wherever you're listening to. Make sure you guys follow me on TikTok and IG. Everything is linked down below or in the bio or wherever you're listening to it. I always make sure I link it for you guys. If you guys are looking for merch, I have it also linked in my links and everything like that. So you'll be able to find everything there. So again, thank you guys, and I'll see you guys next week. All right, see you guys.